How long gone? We just talked yesterday. We had to move this recording. So it's a rare Wednesday session for us. Does that make you feel differently, Jason?
Rare Wednesday. I mean, the listeners can feel it. Why even try to fake it, right, Chris?
You can feel.
Right
I know
off the
you
bat.
can just tell.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking insane. I feel upside down right now, but we're gonna make it happen. I have a food guest on today, so that's always enjoyable for a fellow like me. Just left my Pilates class. Really sweated through the Gildan today, I gotta say.
Yeah, sometimes that's what you need, though. You know, you got to get it out. I know you get it out in several ways, but
What are some other ways that you think I get it out? This is really flattering.
the sauna. That's when I just mean the sweat. I mean the toxins that you accumulate inside that long body of yours.
Yeah, I got to change my water, and it takes a lot of water to fill this fella up.
It does.
That's a good idea. I'm going to hit the sauna and watch Apples at the studio.
I can't tell if I've given up on the studio or not yet. I guess I'll keep watching.
I mean, it's one of those. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be better than everyone else. And right now, there isn't really anything
that's
else.
true.
I mean,
it is
you know,
that absolutely.
outside of your hacks and your gemstones. But speaking of gemstones, I feel like we've reached peak Goggins after this photo shoot of him going spread eagle, right?
Yeah, I'm Gogginsed out. I mean, he is a great national treasure as far as actors go, but this is what happens sometimes. You get too popular. You have to say yes. There's going to be a for your consideration campaign. I get it, but yeah, I'm with you. It's time.
Is it? I mean, I think it's gilding the lily because he really was so amazing and a special talent, and everyone organically discovered him over time. But now the two shows on HBO at the same time, but it really is these photo shoots, and we are friends with the people that shoot him, and it's not necessarily his fault. I think Goggins he flew too close to the sun. He's doing AD tours with his shirt off. His body is loco, especially for a guy of his age. But, you know, at a certain point, he starts to look like his characters, you know, his spray-tanned Christian fundamentalist characters on TV. And it's just overexposed. I can't do it anymore.
I mean, this is what happened. This has happened to
and his bulge wasn't even that big.
countless celebrities over time. But I call it the curse of White Lotus, the worst show on TV. And that's what happens. You join White Lotus, things go too far because the fandom is too crazy.
Damn, that's 4D chess, because the whole show of the White Lotus is sort of the curse of the White Lotus, but then you took it and you flipped it, reversed it, made it IRL.
Exactly.
You said this is a White Lotus. Mike White is doing it for these actual actors in real life.
that is my thinking. I just don't.
The most dangerous game.
If he would have stuck on gemstones and just been Baby Billy, we would be fine. He would obviously be doing quite well, but it wouldn't have hit the kind of fever pitch that it did because of White Lotus.
Yeah, and as an entertainment industry-based podcast, we know there's two rules: never be a tweener, never double dip.
I mean,
and he may have rode both of those bulls out of the stables.
I didn't know that rule until now, but I'm glad that I learned
it. More so the tweener. And, you know, you got to pick one side. You can't try to do both, or else no one's, you know, you're never going to get there.
Sure, yeah.
You know, obviously the entertainment business is built on double dipping. That's kind of how CAA became what it was. Shout out to CAA, but you know, those days are kind of behind us now. As we are in recession mode.
Stop. People. I swear to God, if I hear recession, AI, Chat GPT, it's all the same shit. People need to learn to talk about other stuff. There's other stuff to talk about. Everyone who's talking about the recession is someone who is absolutely not affected by the recession. That is my personal take on that.
Okay.
It's fear-mongering is what it is. People love to talk about it, to talk about how bad the country is because they're so mad about who the president is, which is, we have plenty of problems, but I just don't think that unless you are
Speak on it, Chris. I like it. Fired up.
Well, unless you're like a high-ranking fucking finance guy, I don't want to hear you say the word recession. That's all I mean. It's just like anything else. It's like COVID. It's like anything. There are experts.
If you're still gonna buy the eggs, don't talk about it.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's just experts that literally know how this stuff works, and obviously some of them are saying that it's true. I'm happy to listen to them and believe them. I am not happy to listen to every bozo that wants to post a recession indicator meme on Instagram. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm not here to talk about the actual financial markets. I'm only here to add some color how it affects our entertainment industry. So, we have to greenlight films about Toys R Us. You know what I mean? Because anything else is too much of a risk.
That would have happened no matter what, because that's the only thing. That's
Toys R
Minecraft
Us,
with a giraffe.
I mean, the script was fucking airtight, so I get it. It was going to get bought one way or another. I guess speaking of the entertainment biz and the written word, How Long Gone Do Moi tip, Miranda July, she's a 10% tipper.
Oh no. Mm-hmm. How do we know?
A source that will go unnamed, that was in her orbit. She's a nasty tipper. There's just something about folks who don't tip.
I was just talking about this with someone about how that's the one thing you have to do if you're even remotely known.
Yeah.
Is tip 20% or more all the time.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you have to do, because it reveals too much about someone if they cheap out.
Yeah, because especially if they are a well-known person, it's a choice to leave a bad tip, and that choice
the service could have been bad. I mean, I still wouldn't do that because I think it's crazy, but
apparently this is not somebody who got stiffed by July one time. This is somebody who has been in the orbit, and Miranda may have a 10% across the board. Maybe she's bad at math, and she's like, the 20, it starts getting dicey. 10, I know how to do that one. You just move the point, right?
They write it for you on the receipt at this point. I mean, it's not, I'm not good at math, and I'm still able to figure it out.
We're not here to defend or make up
what I was going to ask
alibis
is,
for her.
Okay, so we know this is repetitive behavior. This isn't like a coffee shop where they deserve less of a tip. No offense to our baristas out there,
This
but
is
you know what I
happening
mean.
at
It's not
Crossroads Kitchen. This is happening at any hot bar, cold bar, medium heat bar, matcha shop, chicken shack. 10%.
I'm sorry to hear. I'm sorry to hear that. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me when it comes to people doing shit like that.
Yeah, to me, I think it's a power move, and I like an animalistic kind of power move. Somebody displaying a physical act of dominance in front of other people in the modern world. It's cool to see that, but do it where it affects the billion-dollar corporations, not the service workers in the world.
We have to protect the service workers.
Yeah, steal from Amazon and Whole Foods and Walmart. Don't steal from Steve, who dropped your quinoa.
I'd have to go into Walmart to steal from it, which is kind of a bridge too far.
Same. That's what's keeping me.
I did go check out the Lorde thing last night at Washington Square Park. So I was going to dinner with Jacob at Pastisse, and I was like, all right, I'm going to stop by and see what this is all about.
Lordcella.
It was fucking insane. It was some of the crazy. It was so many people.
I saw the drone footy. It
was an insane amount of people, but it was interesting. It was amazing people watching. I was wandering around, mouth agape, with every kind of person you could think. Like it felt young, obviously, but there were all varieties of young people.
Was it like seeing your Twitter feed in person?
No. My Twitter feed isn't 24-year-olds. Like it's not. It's young. It was just an impressive. It was an impressive gathering, I guess, but then it did get shut down. So I don't know.
Really?
And I'm sure it got shut down, but because it really was like an unbelievable amount of people. But I assumed, I'm sure they like cleared it with the city. Obviously, they're not just going to do that guerrilla style, So
we don't know.
I do know that there were like guys with headsets on. Like it's not, there's like
okay.
There's like guys walking around. But then Dev, this is so great. Dev just pulled up with the Beats pill and played the song and walked through the park.
So she played the song on like these big big speakers.
No, that was after. After. Like she did that. So it was supposed to start at 7. It didn't. Dev walked through the crowd with a boombox, played the song, and then at 9:30 she came out and played the song with like the real speakers.
Damn. Okay, showing up 2.5 hours late. Lorde is lording. I like to hear it. Taking a page out of the Ferreira book.
It didn't seem like anybody had left from the footage I saw. So I was like, damn, that's powerful. Because if I show up 2.5 hours late, even if the cops were detaining me, no one would be left. Yeah. I would be on the street hungry.
Well, that's good. I think those exciting NYC moments are what make it all worth it living over there, huh, Chris?
Well, it was also beautiful. It was like excellent weather. It was like the
10
best
out of 10
weather
weather
yesterday,
day,
which was
I read.
just lucky. That's just lucky when you're able to do that. You know, when that plan comes together.
So lucky. Also, Chris and I, we announced on our social medias recently, but we're going to be doing Eats Con, the Infatuation Food Festival. It's happening in June in Los Angeles, as well as some other cities later on in the year. I think we'll be announcing those later, but yeah, follow us on social media, and we posted all that stuff up. But EatsCon Infatuation will be in conversation on stage with a special guest. There'll be lots of food and friends there. Quarter Sheets will give us some unique salads and some slices of cake. It's going to be fun, Chris. You ready to talk about food?
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited for EatsCon.
I was thinking we should do another Chris Black blind taste test type of thing.
No, I'm joking, but I'm actually excited.
That seemed to go well
for EatsCon because I just can't. It's fascinating to me that people love stuff like this so much because I just don't. I don't need to try that much food. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good with kind of what I got, but the idea of having, 30 or 40 great places, in one area, I understand that is appealing on a certain level, but for me, I don't need it, but I'm glad that other people do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be too much food for one person to take down, so it's nice to have all of the city's hottest food items in one medium-sized airport hangar ready to go. So
yeah, I can't wait to have my hundreds burger.
I'll get 3 to 5 bites. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that'll be good. I don't need 68. Okay, but speaking of food, our guest is here today, David Gelb. He's responsible for Chef's Table on Netflix, Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Lots of other stuff like that. I've watched pretty much everyone.
Not Jiro Dreams of
Sushi. Got into
Sushi.
the weeds with the noodles a little bit. Yeah, he did Jiro.
Damn, that's OG food content documentary. That might be the original.
And at our sushi spot in Hollywood, Shintaro, they basically play Godzilla and then Jiro Dreams of Sushi on the projector on a loop for years and years.
Dave, I hope you're getting some. They might be doing it illegally, Dave. So don't shut them down.
Yeah. No, they pay. They pay.
Okay,
me.
they pay. All right, good.
They pay.
Good.
It's a Toro. It's a Toro deal.
Toro deal. Okay, let's give Dave a call.
So you're in the Big Apple.
Yes.
And you're getting great weather. I hope you're taking advantage of it.
Yeah. So I literally flew back for this Chef's Table Legends event tonight that's being hosted by Jose Andres. I'm working on a project in Asia right now. It's kind of something that takes place all over the world. So I popped into New York, going to Tokyo tomorrow to rejoin the shoot.
Bro, all right, so hold on. You came back from Asia for one day because Jose Andres said, I need your ass here, is what you're telling me.
Well, yeah, he's a legend. So I got to do it.
Sure, I know technically he's a legend, and by definition, in this instance, he is a legend.
Yes.
He's very persuasive.
I guess.
David, I need you, my brother. Yeah, actually, I want to talk about Jose Andres. I was driving down the 101 freeway by Universal City, and there's a billboard for a new competition cooking show, and the billboard looks very like the type of shit that your mom watches on TV, like Airbrush, CBS type shit. And Martha Stewart, 97-year-old ass, and Jose Andres are hosting a cooking show. What's up with that? I thought Jose was a very a man of the people, not the corporate kind of thing. He's up there looking like John Cena on Splash Out.
No, he's doing it for the people.
No shade.
He's doing it for the people. That's why he's going broadcast.
Got it. It's an unpaid opportunity for him, is what you're saying?
Maybe. It's with Martha Stewart. And Martha Stewart's coming. Martha Stewart's coming tonight. If that's going to entice you, Chris, to come. We got the Duke and the Duchess coming in.
Oh, hold on. Are Harry and Meghan going to be there?
Oh,
okay. All right. Hold the goddamn
it's the Duke and
phone.
Duchess. Thank you.
Okay. All right. If the Duke and Duchess are going to be there, I might be able to move some stuff around. I mean, Martha Stewart goes to the opening of an envelope. No offense to your party, and she's a great get. She's a great get. But
great get.
But I've seen Martha Stewart 3 times in the last month. You know what I mean? Not on TV. Not on TV.
Yeah, I was walking by. There's a new FedEx opening up, and Martha old ass was up in there.
No, I love seeing Martha. I think it's a sign of a good she's got her like number one high ranking gay that comes with her everywhere, who's like a really nice, well dressed older guy. And when you see them, you know the party's hit a certain level.
A high level, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, the last time I saw her was at Graydon's book party, she was the poorest person in the room before me, of course.
Yeah.
So if that tells you anything,
Present company
There
excluded.
you go. Well, yeah, there's going to be some very a lot of Netflix superstars there tonight. As part of the Netflix.
Is Sarandos going to be there?
Ted is going to be there. Ted has been a huge supporter of Chef's Table. We've been on, we're the oldest running show on the longest running show on the entire platform. Yeah. So it's 10 years. And we were on when it was like Orange is the New Black was still on. Like that's where we're at.
That does feel like a throwback when you say it.
Yeah. Ted's the king. Ted has supported us nonstop this entire time. And also, he bought Jiro Dreams of Sushi. I'm sorry, he showed Jiro Dreams of Sushi on the platform, which is really where it blew up. And then nobody else was going to do Chef's Table. Like, I couldn't even get a pitch. But Netflix was like, yeah, we want it. And they were willing to take a chance. And here we are.
And look, here we are now. Now I can watch any chef I want in slow motion, picking vegetables or chopping vegetables. I love Chef's Table. It's actually the only food thing I can really watch. Because I don't give a fuck about if it gets into competition stuff, I'm out.
Yes.
Question for you, David: what do you think is better, Chef's Table or Bar Rescue?
the only show that touches us, rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain, is Kitchen Nightmares. Crushes.
We're not talking about ratings, David. We're talking about just a better show.
Well, the good news is that I don't even know what my ratings are. So that's
the beauty of Netflix.
That's the nice thing. Yeah, because they don't want to bother me with that.
Uncle Ted doesn't let you know about that stuff.
No,
right?
He's
very supportive.
They give us a little a sampling, just
if it was going bad, I'm sure Ted would let you know.
Yeah.
But until then,
he wouldn't be there.
We wouldn't get to season 9.
We're still going. Love it.
I love it too. I don't the Jiro Dreams of Sushi thing. Is this and sorry that I don't know this, but is this something that you just went and ate there and they were like, I need to make this? Was it that simple?
Well, no, going back to what you were saying before about not loving the competitions, I didn't love that either. I didn't want to make a competition. I didn't want to make a talk show or a instructional cooking show. I just the chefs were so interesting. And actually it started with Nozawa in studios, in the Valley in Studio City, because he was famous for, my good friend Max Winkler took me there when we were in college, and he he's known for throwing people out of the restaurant. He's famous for that. And I was like, wow, what an interesting character. And so then I got interested in chefs as people, and then what's their deal. And then the journey kind of started from there.
I'm interested in people that do cocaine too. So I totally get it. And I think that chefs are an important part of our fabric.
Have you ever been in there when you saw him soup Nazi somebody out, or it was just sort of lore? Okay.
Absolutely.
And the offense is usually what? Asking for...
He could be asking for avocado, California roll. In this case, he was mad because there was a couple at the sushi bar that were friends with people at a table, and they switched seats. Somebody came and sat, kicked them all out. His wife came around, collected the credit cards. Everybody gets charged, and then you're told to leave the restaurant.
They got charged?
Yeah, and then the wife will tell you, it's okay, you can come back in maybe a month. It'll be okay, or not. If you do something really bad.
Yeah, never do a flip flop.
Yeah, you never do a flip flop.
I love stuff like that, of course. But I also feel like I would try to fight him if he did that to me, depending on the level of offense that I've committed. You know what I mean?
He's carrying the knives, dude.
That's true. Yeah, but he's not going to want to get human blood on those. You know what I mean? Those are for octopus chopping. He doesn't want Chris blood.
In the spirit of this world, just as a quick aside, have you ever eaten whale, David?
No, I never ate
really?
whale. No, not that I knew of. At least I did eat. I've eaten horse sashimi before, which
of course
I don't recommend.
Oh, it's not. Does it taste like hay, or how would you describe it?
The horse sashimi, it's gamey. It's
sure.
gamey and it's tough.
No shit.
And it's that's a mouthful. You think you're eating a nice piece of tuna because it's red, and then it's all of a sudden you're chewing for by minute 3 of chewing.
Could be poor slicing. You know what I mean? Who knows?
There might be better horse out there. I didn't have it.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Oh wait, I'll tell you one thing. I had a horse. I had a good horse at Mugaritz, which is like this crazy experimental restaurant where it's almost like this restaurant is like in a lot of ways the basis of the menu, which I got to shoot the food shots for. That movie was really funny to me because I was like, oh my God.
The film, The Menu.
The movie, The Menu, exactly. And with Ray Fiennes.
Ripped Ray. I don't know if you saw those shirtless pictures of him recently, but Ray is jacked.
Dude, he's king. He's the real
Ray
king.
is juicing, right?
Yeah, Ray's on the TRT, but he looks great.
Anyway, you're very hungry. The meal, they give you things that taste like grass. They give you something that tastes like cough syrup. It's all experimental. You're starving. They're going to bring you the meat dish. They raise up the thing. It's a gummy bear in the shape of a cow that has the flavor of beef.
Whoa.
And you're drunk at this point because you've been there for 2 hours.
Sure.
And you're doing all the tastings and everything. And you're in Spain and you're just like starving. And then, final course, thin slices of horse cheeks come out with barbecue sauce, and you just go for that. And like that's the mind fuck, I think, is that like he's gonna make you want that
Does the
horse.
barbecue sauce
He's gonna make you want the horse.
offset it well?
I mean, I was so hungry that like anything that looked like normal food.
You could literally eat a horse, as they say.
Chris, you did your second 4D chess of the day.
Holy shit! Wait,
Well,
that's what they were doing. I didn't even think that you so hungry you could eat a horse. Oh
yeah,
my
that's
God.
definitely what they were doing.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, chef's trick.
I never put that together.
As they say.
This is not the same, but when I went to Noma and I had the like shaved ice that tastes like cheese, that fucked me up. And I've thought about it every day since.
Yeah.
Everyone at my table is grossed
It
out.
feels like a food that you would order in Baltimore. Let me get a cheese ice.
yeah. Bodega.
I'll have it on a bun. I'll do it on a seeded roll.
Okay, that is a good trick. And then the funniest trick at all, they charge your credit card $870, right?
Yeah, that's without the wine pairing though. So
Without the wine. You got the wine pairing. Yeah.
things only go uphill from there.
Yeah, actually, David, this is a good question for you. If I'm really looking to spend the most money I possibly can on a dining experience, because 11 Madison Park is looking affordable these days. Is there somewhere else I can go?
Yeah, man. I mean, the most expensive stuff is in Asia, and you have like, I would say ultraviolet. I think there's some meals that are like starting at $12.50 a person, and then there are add-ons that can take you up to $2,000 just for food, and then you want the normal pairing, $1,000. You want the reserve pairing, $2,500. Like there, it goes.
Okay,
it goes,
so we're touching 5-6 G's for the meal here. If we go crazy,
I could find a way for you to spend a shitload of money if that's
My
what you're
problem
into.
is I don't drink and I hate additions. So it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem for me. I don't.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna upsell my ass.
Yeah.
I don't care how jet lagged I am.
You hate all additions?
Bro,
You're a low value guest, Chris. Chris, you're a low value guest.
I'm the worst guest.
They don't want you.
No,
They're not going to be able to prey on you properly.
I just don't like that. I don't like when I see a menu and they're like, yeah, for $250 you can. I'm like,
Right.
fuck you. Like this is. But what is the cuisine at Ultraviolet?
Oh, I've never
Like,
been.
what is the
but
style?
It's French. I think it's in Hong Kong. Actually, I should check that. Shanghai.
Okay.
It's a table and the walls are all LED screens. Like
Yeah, I've seen videos of it.
So it's like you're at a high-end airport.
yeah, and it's like a combination of Asian and French food and stuff. And I mean, so you get a sensory immersion like you're like on a like an LED screen movie set or something like that.
It's like you're eating at the Sphere.
Yes, exactly.
Every dish there is a mind fuck on the senses.
That's actually a good idea.
I would rather eat some spicy noodles than see the Grateful Dead, and if I'm going to get to see the screens.
Yeah, but the
that's not a
food
bad- that's not a
is
bad
even
deal.
more surreal than the visuals, though. It's one of those things,
I see.
like they open up the thing and then like fog comes out and it's like
Oh, it's like that.
it's alien food.
Yeah, and then they're running around serving the stuff, and it's like you're underwater eating eel. Like doing it at the Sphere. Actually, doing a food experience at the Sphere is actually kind of genius. So we're gonna look at that.
All right, let's get. Who are we getting on the phone for that? Who do you think which chef would create the best visuals for a Sphere?
Oh man,
Round table.
You would have to get a chef that's so big that it would fill out the Sphere. So you'd have to go, Guy Fieri.
you got to sell it out.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. I was going to say Batali lost weight, but you meant big. Like I see what you meant.
I mean, it's what 12,000 seats or something.
It'll take 15 chefs. I think we'll just get like each course a different chef.
Oh, different
just
chef.
make
But
it total chaos.
But I feel like it would, Jason. I feel like it would feel like more of an exclusive experience if it was a very small number of people in the giant space. You know what I mean?
Right.
So therefore, you don't have to sell the tickets.
Just me and the guys that I play golf with, and that's it. We bought the whole bitch out, kind of thing.
We got the private jet.
Yeah. So like one table in the middle of the sphere, and that'll be like that's a 25K seat right there.
Yeah,
at
easy.
least.
That's Met Gala prices.
I'm sitting next to Bill Simmons. It's one of those things.
Bill Simmons doesn't have the palate for that. You know that motherfucker's eating cheeseburgers.
No, if you're looking to spend money in Vegas, I'll give you one more thing because you want to hear about expensive shit that I found out about.
Yeah.
There was I went to the Netflix Slam, the tennis match between Rafa and Alcaraz, and it was awesome.
Alcaraz, yeah.
Like exhibition, and it was so fun. But I saw a menu of experiences you could hit with Rafa for $250,000 an hour.
Whoa.
That's crazy. I want to watch
These are
that.
Carucci prices.
That is Carucci prices. That's yachting is what we call that in my world. That's you get on a yacht in Cannes and we don't see you for a week for $250. What is the? Hold on one second. Does that $250 though?
No kiss.
Is it
No kiss.
clear that goes in his pocket, or is it like charity?
I mean, I'm sure that there's a skim like at most casinos.
There's got to be a skim.
Yeah.
It's got to be a skim, and then you're going to pay $250K for Rafa to slam tennis balls at you. Like,
No, actually, David, that's the problem. He would be nice. That's the other problem. Like, I would want to get slammed, but I think he would be.
Yeah.
I think you for $250 you could tell him to hit me however you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, also, and especially on that level of people who are able to pay $250 an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
They're some of the highest level cucks in the world. So, you know,
That's
they're
true.
just gonna lay down, pull my pants
If
down,
it's
and
not
just
a
start
ri-
winging serves at my ass.
Yeah, if it's not a Rafa inside out fucking forehand, it's going to be a Louboutin on the balls. You know, it's going to be one or the other.
yeah.
It's going to be one or the other.
You want to get hurt in that situation. You want to feel the
Yeah.
RPMs rip the racket out of your hand.
And I hope there's nobody in the stands to watch.
No, I want to see it. I want to see who is paying for it, and I want to see like
Yeah, I do too.
what
That's fun.
Rafa does to him.
A public flogging. Well, speaking of Netflix, now that we're in the world of, you know, it's so hard to get anything picked up at Netflix or anywhere, you seem to obviously have a good relationship with them over the years. How many of your friends have pitched you ideas because you have no problem getting greenlit at Netflix?
I mean, we greenlit one show that it's been renewed many times. So
You're like, actually, no, it's just one.
No, I mean, like your friend who has a script who's like, David, can you give this to Netflix for me, please? Kind of thing.
no, nobody's
Walking
giving me a
across the
script,
line.
but I have people often are sending me ideas. Friends and also just strangers that I meet, they all have an idea. They all think that they grandparents are worthy of a documentary.
You're fucked now that Jason has your email address. You better fucking.
They want Chef's Table. They want Chef's Table of watches. They want Chef's Table of like airline pilots.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Nonas, little half-ass Nonas in your DMs.
Yeah. But I mean, it's you know, they'll still greenlight things, but it is tough. Like the business is tough since now it's about. They have to like make money. It's not like startups anymore. Like this is now TV, you know, and they have ads and everything. So it's like,
Yeah.
it'll swing back though, because people always want to see original new stuff. Like when we were coming out with Chef's Table and in fact, nobody even wanted to buy Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Every single studio passed on it. And then, Tom Quinn, who later went on to, is the head of Neon. He founded Neon, which, you know, has incredible movies like Parasite. He bought it for like $75K.
75.
And then we have a back end partnership, but like nobody wanted this movie. Nobody wanted the show. But things like that can happen. So we'll swing back. We'll swing back to creativity soon.
I hope not. I hope not. I think we got. I actually think we have too much creativity in the world, but I understand what you mean when you're talking about the entertainment business specifically.
Yes.
I hope that you're right, David.
What Jason, what were we talking about earlier? A Toys R Us movie?
There's a Toys R Us movie that just got greenlit, and it's sort of like watching the studio where they're doing a movie about Kool-Aid, the Kool-Aid Man,
Yeah.
and trying to frame it as a Jonestown.
Yeah,
massacre. You know,
no,
like-
that's great.
so it's
Exactly.
sort of like
It's the only safe choice.
the fiction is becoming reality,
Yeah.
now in real time, where you would
Yeah.
have a TV show or a podcast, and you joke about some crazy thing that's going to happen. In a few years, it would actually happen, and now it's
Yes.
happening during the same week, which
Yes.
is bad.
Satire is dead. Satire is dead.
Right.
You know, I saw this one, Minecraft movie was the most successful movie of the year.
Yeah.
And in fact, in years, I think it's like the biggest movie in a while. And then I saw in the in Deadline, it was Outrun, the video game from the 90s, which I couldn't even remember what it was. It was
I
like an
remember that
arcade
game.
game.
Yeah.
Michael Bay's doing Outrun. So like immediately, green light, Outrun. That is as close to Kool-Aid. That game hasn't even been out for 20 years, I don't think. So
No.
you know, they're digging
Let me
deep.
ask
That's a very old
let me
game
ask you.
that had no characters.
They're in the mines looking for IP that they
Damn.
can just.
As a Hollywood insider, let me ask you: Does Michael Bay, they approach him and he can't say no, or it's like Michael Bay is the one spearheading this?
Man, you know, I wish I could spend more time with Bay and figure out what that guy. That guy needs a documentary. I mean, every time if you follow his Instagram, he's like firing up the PJ. He's heading to, you know, film a Trump commercial or some crazy thing, and then all of a sudden he's like, you know, he's at this premiere, that premiere, and then he's like, all of a sudden he's like trying to find a mouse that's in his giant house or something. There's like little like
that's
dramatic
fun, actually. That's
aside.
fun.
It's like little
Good slice of life.
So he has some fun. There's some fun Bay moments on there. Actually, I met him once when I was working on the Ford Mustang documentary. This is like a while ago, and I was like, "Oh yeah, so you know, I'm working on this thing. Like, any advice on how to shoot cars or whatever?" And he goes, "Fuck Ford, fuck Mustangs." And I'm like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, I wanted a Mustang to be Bumblebee, and so I went with they fucked me, so I went Camaro. I went Camaro all the way on Bumblebee." And I was like, "Okay, thank you, Mr. Bay."
Bumblebee.
Like, what advice? Yeah. And then I was like, what advice, Michael, what advice do you have to like dealing with the studio? Like, how do you get the studio to trust you and to follow you and like do the marketing in a way that's tasteful and that way you like it? And he goes, here's what I do. I bring the guy into my office and I look behind me. I say, you see these 7 Clios behind me? You're going to do it my way. And I'm like, oh, thank you. That's very helpful. Gotta go get my Clios.
Clio's, look, I understand Clio carries a weight with someone, but Michael Bay shouldn't be talking about Clio's like it's an Oscar or a Grammy.
Well, it's to the marketing guy. Maybe in marketing world.
Yeah, of course.
How do you get it done?
Of course.
You make Bad Boys 2. That's how you get the doors to open.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Money talks, bullshit walks. You know, that's how it goes with the Bay.
Well, I guess speaking of recession indicators and food, more so in the restaurant world than the content world, do you feel like we're sort of getting post-story, like telling a story with our food now that we're in
Let's
this
hope.
sort of more survival mode? I know Chris would like that, but like we were just talking about Ultraviolet, and it's very like it's just as much, if not more, quote unquote storytelling. And then you talk about this in Chef's Table a lot of like, you know, we're not going to do an episode on this person, even if they're the best chef in the world, if they're not telling a story with it, and it's not like, oh, my grandma made this ravioli kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, do you feel like we're ever going to get past that and we can just be like, this person makes the best food and that's it?
Well, I think inherently every good chef, every good artist has a story that they're telling with what they're doing. Whether or not they're broadcasting that to the diners is a different thing. And
so that's your job then to go get in there.
yeah, because we wanted to film the chefs that they didn't want to be on TV. So it's like Legends is like this journey where we actually are now shooting the real famous chefs, and showing a new side of them. But you know, the storytelling in the food is like key, and that's why people choose a restaurant. Like, you go there because you heard it's like this. You know, it's the best, like exactly you said, it's the grandma's ravioli or whatever that is. The story is what connects you to the food, I think. And that's why you make a choice when you go to a restaurant. So that they should express themselves. And that's how that's how they put their heart into it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was listening to an interview with you, and you were talking about how, like, each episode you're searching for the reason why the chef is a chef.
Yes.
And I thought that was kind of interesting, but I guess more so I'm leaning into like, I am just the best chef and I'm just really good at making it. It doesn't have to be the like the sappy kind of melodramatic story. I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but like a lot of chefs will sort of lean into like, you know, I'm a single parent and my kid has cancer and we got our house destroyed by a tornado and I'm just trying to cook to, you know, that kind of thing. I feel like we're leaning too much into that.
They're going table to table and they're telling the people that, or they put it on the menu. Like, I think that's like cheesy if they feel like the food, they have to tell. Like, you shouldn't need to know the story to enjoy it, and I think that's right. And I don't think that they need to.
No, that's
blast
a
it out.
very good distinction to make. That's a very good distinction to make.
That's kind of like the chef's table effect, you know. And one of the weird things about having been around a while, just like, you know, the Jiro Dreams of Sushi, like kind of brought in this wave of omakase. You know, the chef's table is like now everybody wants to tell their story, and it's hard for me to go to a restaurant sometimes without getting the full story and the full deal.
I would not. I would hate to. Oh man, I would hate to be you walking into a fucking restaurant. They put down their journal on the table, and make you read it before they'll give you an appetizer.
Yeah, you know, it's like easy to get. It's good to get a res, but there's a lot of tours and conversations.
You're like, the reservation stuff is sick. Everything else is fine.
Yeah. I guess you reverse it, because like if you're somebody like a Bourdain, rest in peace, he walks into a restaurant. And, you know, they line up to start sucking his dick and dropping caviar on him. And then with you, it's like, my mom died last week, man. And, you know, we haven't got a rain in some time. And these crops are not looking good.
Yeah, it's the sad movie guy. It's the sad chef movie guy. Let's go trauma bomb him.
Yeah.
People don't know what I look like, so that's fine.
Good point.
Oh, that's nice.
So I have my wife or I have somebody else like do the reservation sometimes if we're looking for like a low key moment.
I like that. You send your wife in. We can't Google her. She's below the line. Is that what you're saying?
No. She's just not in the food world. You know, she's a big deal though. But I have no problem just like throwing her into the line of fire to take on, you know, whatever I'm hiding from it.
That's what marriage is all about, actually. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. That I didn't know how to articulate it.
It's in the vows.
As somebody who is also married, you know, you said sometimes you'll have your wife do the res under her name if you want it to be low key. What is the percentage of wanting it to be low key and wanting it to be like, you know?
Well, I think it's like 75. It's 75% low key, and then I have to go high key if it's really impossible to get in, and I'm doing like a last second set up a table in the kitchen. Like this has to happen.
Has anyone? But when's the last time you got straight up no'd? When you pulled the hog out and they were like, "Sorry, bro, we can't do it."
Like for reservation or for being on the show?
No, for a reservation. Like when you were like, "This is last minute and I'm pushing it," but they were like, they still, because they're all liars. There's always a table.
Yeah, Vegas is a problem sometimes because the hosts they don't give a shit about chef's table.
No,
like they don't give a fuck. It's like, who gave me $300 rolled up? You know, without residue or with it.
Different rules in Vegas.
Yeah. So they don't give a shit. So that's always. Then I have to. Then I don't want to bother the chef. You can
text Mario if you need to go to Carbone. Of course, you're fine.
Yes, there is that. See, but then, like, am I going to play that card? You know, like you only have so many chips.
You know, here's my thing with asking people for reservations, because I hate doing it. But I've had a few people that have been in that business for a long time explain to me that it's like part of it. They're like, it's just part of the job. It doesn't bother me. It's like what happens. Like, we're actually friends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to do it. It's not a big deal.
It's like asking a DJ for guest lists. Every day
we do it.
We deal with it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
taking the trash out.
It depends on the chef. You know, like most of the chefs are easy. Some of them are like, It's just hard to get in touch with them, or they're like, have maybe 4 seats in the restaurant actually has no space, literally, and it's impossible.
Yeah.
But I guess it would be easier once after you've already completed the episode about that chef. Then you could text them 6 a.m, like, "What up, bitch? I need a, 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh yeah,
12 top.
Oh yeah,
Alice Waters, your shit is dropping. I need a basket of French vegetables on my table before I wake up.
They're cool. Yeah, they bring in they back the truck up to the table and then they just start dumping those. They dump that kale. You can swim in a bathtub of kale if you need to there. But then like
dump that kale.
Some guy, I mean, Jiro, really the only one, the most difficult one is Jiro, because he was like, I was doing fine. And you can now we got to draw the blinds. Now we have a big sign that says no photography, and like they're like, you kind of fucked us a little bit.
That's really funny. You changed my life in a bad way. Thank you, David.
Yeah, he was like, I thought you were making the most boring movie of all time, and now I have tourists like swarming the restaurant. So thank you.
It's still like that. I mean, it's still. Like,
but the place is mobbed. The place is mobbed, and they've actually opened up like a few like satellites around Asia. But the story is so strong there. Like people want to go to, they want to go to the god of sushi. Like that's what they,
for sure.
That's what they want. And it's like a pilgrimage, but I don't recommend it for everyone. Assuming you guys haven't been there, but it's like, that's a black diamond. That's some double black diamond sushi.
Yeah. I'm all set,
they're going to give you some weird shit there. That is, an acquired taste.
I need my Philly roll. I'm all set on that. I guess I've watched a lot of these. You've obviously done this for a long time. Sushi still seems like the most mythic food to me in a lot of ways. Like when I watch Alice Waters, who I love, and I love the whole thing with her, I understand what that is. You know what I mean? I understand what it is. It's a pretty simple concept, but sushi seems to have this mythic, and maybe because it's like traditional and it's obviously from a different country, etc., but it seems like the one that is still like people are most curious about, I would say.
Well, it's the show. It's a show.
Yeah.
You sit in front of the chef. He's serious. He's got his special knives, and like he's got the special, what did he get today? He opens the little box, and it's like, oh, this is the special. They show you a map of where it's from and stuff, and you're like, that's magic. And that's why Jiro kind of and Nozawa set me on this path. I was like, who is this guy? What is the secret? Why is this sushi so much better than that one? And like, what are they doing? And they're like, it's the rice. It's all about the rice.
Yeah, sure.
If you say good rice, go to a sushi restaurant and tell them that the rice is good, and they'll be like, dude, like,
they know you're ahead. That's a way to let them know.
Then you're a G. You're
it's
a
a
G.
good tip.
Yeah, go in
It's
there. Say, oh, the rice is excellent, and they'll be like,
they look at me and say, white boy, get out of here. You're drunk. We know you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's like when you go to an Italian deli and you compliment the bread because they're all sliced in the same boar's head, but when you get the bread right, it's something special.
But I feel like Jiro was the first.
Sushi is a mythical thing, man.
I feel like Jiro was the first time I understood like the fish market, the culture of like getting the fit, like how often the fish is bought and how expensive it is and how hard it is, and that part was really fascinating to me because it was like buying drugs.
Oh, totally. And they have a dealer, they got the special, they got like, they got the swag for the normies, and then they have like their special premium.
Thank you for using the word swag.
Special premium stuff.
Yeah. I want the pink salmon, not the white.
No, you get the good like deep flavor from the secret channels off of Hokkaido, and you can like they have it. That's what sets them apart. Also, it's not just the rice. It's like who is their supplier from? Do they get the Oma tuna? Like there's some stuff that is just like impossible to get, and it's only getting harder because like there's a lot of toro. Like they can farm toro, but like to get the real like deep flavorful bluefin tuna,
to get
like,
the homegrown shit
hard
is
to come
tough.
by. Yeah, to get the real.
I'm smoking on that Willy Toro over here. It was always really interesting to me, but I think that like the levels, and also I guess I found out after that like the good sushi restaurants in any city are getting it overnighted from Japan or whatever, and that's like why that's why those places are good. But I didn't know any of that until the movie.
That's the price point in New York and LA. It's jet fuel. Like that's what you're paying for. You're paying for that
actually, not anymore, David. The affordable omakase is taken over. I mean, we're out here.
I forgot about that.
I can eat 14 pieces for $100 and be out of there in an hour.
Wow.
It's got no soul, though.
Is that a late stage capitalism indicator?
Yes,
it is a late stage. I mean, it's on it. I don't go to these because I find it annoying, but it is insanely like if you open Resi in the East Village, that the first 20 restaurants are going to be omakase. No exaggeration.
Yeah.
To me, it reminds me of how there's like some people who say they prefer having sex with a sex doll than a real human being. That's that version of sushi. Like as long as I can get in and out and it's protein that's clean, I don't care if you cut the fish 3 hours ago and it's been sitting in a Tupperware in the back and you just slap it on. Just get in, get out. I don't need the pacing. I don't need the drama. I don't need the whatever. You know?
I think the point is that it's pretty good. It just takes an hour and a half instead of 3. I think that's the main difference for sure.
It's like 45 minutes to some of the ones I've been to.
That's crazy.
No, because I think that's how they do the model, is that the turnover is faster.
Yeah.
But you're still paying a premium price. But I think that's right up your alley, Chris.
It is.
I've gone like a movie.
You're gonna want to go fast, and they're still gonna give you your vegetable sushi and your
when I went with our friend David Cho, who took me to one that he liked, and it was awesome. It was really good. It was like $100.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't hungry, which I usually am. No matter how many courses I get, I need a slice on the way home. You know what I'm saying, Dave?
Yeah. No, of course. I feel you.
David, I wanted to talk about your family background and your parents and stuff. Your grandpa was a editor at the Times.
Yes, that's right. He was the managing editor of the New York Times. Started as a copy boy. He wrote a memoir about it called City Room, which is about like he's an intimidating figure. He really, but he's so sweet and kind to everybody, and that's what he was known for. But he's an amazing guy, and somebody that I look up to. And then my dad runs the Metropolitan Opera.
Damn, look at your ass is a scrub in the family. You're doing well.
Yeah, man. No, exactly. I mean, it's like it's really and kind of intimidating, and that's why I love the movie Jiro Dreams of Sushi is about a son who's like, is he worthy of the name? Is he going to be able to keep it going? And that was like,
who has more Emmys, you or your dad?
Well, my dad has won 6 Emmys, and I've been nominated 6 times. So,
wow, really?
That's poetic. That's poetic.
We're in the.
I bet he loves that.
Yeah, we're not in the same ballgame, but honestly, his categories are a lot easier. So,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He doesn't have to compete with he doesn't compete with like Planet Earth and like Blue Planet and Frozen Planet. The planets always take us down because people just love a planet. They love a planet show.
It's crazy because I couldn't be less interested in anything than shit like that. And I used to smoke weed.
Voters.
It's like boring.
Yeah, dude.
I don't get it. I don't.
No, the voters want to do the planets.
a lot of people in the arts, you can tell people like, hey, everyone eats food. Without food, you die. And then the Earth is like, oh, so now we don't need oxygen? Like, they're the only other documentary subject that could sort of trump you.
Totally.
But your mom, to me, had the coolest job. She was helping out and writing cookbooks with Francis Mallmann, the god.
Yes. And so that's, as a kid, I'm going to restaurants with my dad around the world, and then my mom I'm like her recipe like tester. I'm tasting, I'm shelling peas. And so my dad's like in the music connection, and my mom's in the culinary.
Damn, that's
Chef's Table
amazing.
It's very musical.
Well, it's just so
show.
obvious why you do what you do. That's rare. Like, my mom is a nurse and my dad is an accountant. You know what I mean? They're like, who is this freak?
Yeah.
But when you're doing this, it's like, this makes total sense. This guy took half of me and half of your father, and it's cool.
Like you have countless nominations and awards, and you've got the longest running show on Netflix of all time, and your parents are still disappointed in you. That's how high the pedigree is.
So that's just part of being Jewish, though. That's not even.
That's sure.
I didn't want to say it, David. I didn't want to say it. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Mallmann as it pertains to Chris, because I went back and watched his episode last night in preparation, and I was on the first season.
Classic.
Definitely my favorite episode of all time for the whole show. It's just so beautifully done. It makes everyone want to go to Patagonia and, wrap fish in mud and all that shit. But specifically with Chris, we're talking about temple food. And temple food, very clean, not allowed to have garlic, all this stuff. And I was thinking, this is very appealing to Chris as somebody who's sensitive to those things.
Yes.
What do you think white people temple food is?
What is white people temple food? It's Erewhon. It's Erewhon, I think. And when you go to Erewhon, you're not only buying that strawberry, you're making a donation to the church.
You are. You're putting
where a lot of the money
offering plate comes around. You take a smoothie, you put in a 20. It's
fermented.
How they
everything there,
split
like it's a vibe. It's fermented. It's like
I like fermented because you'd say like those costs are baked into the price. at Erewhon, the costs are fermented into the price.
Yeah, and it's like a label too. You got to get that. I mean, just the idea of the single strawberry, which is actually I think taken from Japan, where they have like these box watermelons that can cost hundreds of dollars. But Chris, you would actually love the temple food because it's super super healthy, and it's incredibly flavorful and satisfying. And
I'm ready.
Yeah, and you look the part for the Buddhist environment there. Like you would totally crush it.
I unfortunately I feel like they're not allowed to use their phones very much, but otherwise it seems pretty good.
They use their phones. They use their phones.
I see
They have a sense of humor. They're fun.
I see the occasional monk walking around with like new Nikes on. You know what I mean? And you're like, what the fuck? Or like a hat.
Shit. It reminds me.
A cool monk.
We were shooting when we were shooting that episode in like the Korean mountains with Jung Kwan. We were doing like a bunch of drone shots, and we're launching the drone from this position, and it's a big boy, and the drone just starts blasting like all this dust. It's like a Zen garden-y looking thing, and the drone is just destroying the Zen garden. And then the monk comes running out, and he's like, dudes, like in Korean, but he's like, what's going on? And then the translator, I'm apologizing. I'm like so ashamed. And the translator's like, no. He just wants to know what kind of drone that is. That's a dope drone. Like he loves drones. I was like, oh wow. Like monks are cool, man. Monks can hang.
That's really funny.
Of all the things to destroy the Zen garden at the Buddhist temple is a fucking drone.
Yeah. With a loud ass drone that like, this one has like 12 propellers, and it sounds like a swarm of hornets mixed with a jet engine, and
dude,
it was disturbing the piece for sure, but they were cool with it.
Look, they're team players. They know that the final product's going to be great, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and they want the message out there. They want to show the peace and that people should just be mindful. Take a little time to smell the kimchi. You told me to save it for the pod because I remember. Oh yeah, because you guys are Delta boys, just like me.
Yeah.
And I have a Rimowa with a 360 tag on it. And
okay.
All right, big dick.
My guys get that's just miles. It's a cumulative. They see enough of me, and they throw you up to the 360.
One day, Chris.
I don't think it's ever gonna happen, bro. I think I want it too bad. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I have to.
You're too thirsty for the 60.
Things can happen.
My mind.
Things can happen, man.
Delta said no soup for you.
Wait, are you sponsored by Delta? When you say my good friends at Delta, you guys are sponsored.
No, we're paying. No, we're paying full price.
They're not friends of the
for all
pod.
flights.
It's more wishful thinking. We're sort of dressing for the sponsorship that we want, not the one that we.
You got to get Ed Bastian.
Exactly.
You got to get Ed Bastian, the CEO, on the pod because they actually did send a flat screen to all the 360 members, like it's a Mission Impossible self-destructing, like thingy.
Bonnie Bear was not lying.
They're ambitious, man.
No.
Ed Bastian, bring him on. That's how you get 360.
Okay. Honestly, that's a great idea.
That is a great idea. And, they got corporate PR that we could go through. You know, it's not hard to get to Ed.
Corporate wants to be fun.
Ed could get touched, is what we said.
Ed could get touched. Yeah. Ed could get touched, for sure.
Yeah. No, he's a fun guy. He smiles.
He's okay. Speaking of
he's a smiley guy.
Flying, I was watching the Mallman episode, and he was talking about his sort of philosophy with flying and travel, and how he's on a different plane, 4 or 5 days a week, and he really has to be in a different city, every couple of days, and it's what invigorates him. And it reminded me of Chris, who travels a lot, but it sounds like you as a 360 member could even be more better suited to speak about this. Do you share that same philosophy?
Well, it's kind of. I mean, it's on and off for me. So like, I'll do big spurts of travel. Like I'm working on a new project now that has me like everywhere in the world. Like I was from Africa to Scandinavia, and just coming back from Southeast Asia, and so I go in like marathon runs of shooting, and then coming home, popping in to see the fam. And then what I really like is actually I just love being home, and I love like editing, and I love supervising the edit. That's like peaceful to me,
Okay.
So I am a bit traveled out, but I am lucky to have a home and like a family. And Francis has families. Francis is a beautiful soul, and his mission is to go out there and share these fires. Share this energy.
I feel like Francis might have some families, plural.
Yeah,
if you know what I'm saying.
Well, no, it's in the episode.
He likes
Francis
his family. He just doesn't
kids.
need to see him that
he
much.
He has a lot of kids, and what he told me was it's okay as long as they all live the same high standard of living. So he's got to go like work.
Oh, so he's on some Nick Cannon shit. He's like, I gotta earn money.
They gotta have nice houses. They gotta have nice houses, and they have to be comfortable. And then he pops in, and they have like these beautiful little moments, and then he's all, because he's that kind of, he's a sojourner. That's what they know what they're getting into if you hook up with
that. Yeah,
with
for
Francis.
sure. No, it's that is you want that. You're signing up for the lifestyle.
Exactly.
Do you think there are any like current? I feel like when I was also lastly about him when I was watching that episode, I'm thinking like they just don't make like dudes like this anymore. Like they don't exist like this where he's such a boss. The first thing he does in the morning is smoke a cigarette, start a fire to boil his coffee. He's on TV with his wife, his kid, and his mistress. He's openly fucking weather girls all over South America, kids all over the place. Completely unapologetic. Everyone thinks he's cool. Everyone is like, yeah, he cheats on me. It's awesome. Like, there's nobody like that nowadays, and I feel like he's last of a dying breed.
He knows himself. That's the thing, and that's why we love him, is that he knows who he is. He accepts himself fully, and it's not like he's like an egomaniac. He has a sense of humor about himself too, but like he's so comfortable. Like that's why everybody loves him.
Well, he makes it look good too.
He knows what he wants, and his aesthetics are amazing. In fact, I remember Clay Jeter, the director of that episode, and I were on a Zoom with him, and he was like, "Clay, how do you set your table? Like, do you put a nice candle on it?" Like he's like kind of like just checking to make sure that we, that we care about, because he cares. He's a passionate guy and he cares about everything. And so if you can get on the level with him like that, then you're golden.
He sounds like my wife in terms of judging somebody based only on their tablescaping.
Well, no, then he'd teach us how to do it if we didn't know how to do it.
Oh, see, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, no, he's like an incredibly generous guy, but he knows himself, and like we all aspire to that. And it just happens that he has a lot of kids, and he's passionate about love. He loves love.
He's passionate about love. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
that's a very nice way to put it.
There's a lust for life. Yeah, I still have never eaten his food, and I'm sad about that. I need to before Mr. Loverman passes.
Yeah. He's healthy though. He's kicking.
He's kicking.
He's around.
I guess on the subject of last of a dying breed, do you think we've run out of chefs to table?
No, I mean I can literally do chef's table forever, like, and that's the goal. I mean the show is so fun to make because there's always more chefs that every as I was saying before, like any good chef has a story. They do have a story to tell, and if people keep watching it, then we'll keep making it. And there's also like new ways to do it. We've been like playing with like, we're going to mix up the format a little bit, or look at some different ways. We did a show called Street Food, for example, which was also on Netflix, and it was like Chef's Table style, but like 4 different street food vendors in a city as an episode. And so there are other ways to kind of do it. And then we have like these crew members who have been with us for like 10 years, like Adam Bricker, Will Basanta, our original cinematographers, and we have Danny O'Malley, our story producer, and Brian McGinn, who's an executive producer, and he does Danny's an EP also, and then Andrew. Like this team of people, Andrew Freed is his name. This team of people is like, we just like are good at making it, and then if somebody like needs to grow or something like that, then we can create a new format or a new show for them, or they move up. Like we have camera assistants who became cinematographers, and PAs who become producers. Like it's kind of like, it's like an institution at this point, and that's kind of like a beautiful thing. And so we want to keep it going.
That's rare for people to move up in the ranks. Nothing lasts that long.
Just like a chef, you have to keep
amazing.
Paying and promoting those people, or else they'll open up competing restaurants and television shows and take you down.
That's exactly right. That's actually exactly right. That's what Wolfgang Puck told me. I did a doc on Wolfgang Puck for Disney, and he that's why he has like 100 restaurants. It's because he's like, if somebody needs space, we'll go open a restaurant for that person. Why compete with them? That's good business. That's good business.
David Chang does it too. It is a good business. Do you think that you can take me up to Chez Pannise now that we've done an episode with Alice Waters? I'd like to do I've been there a few times and I feel like I've enjoyed it as a civilian. And I feel like the Delta loyalty program, there are some levels at Chez Pannise, and I'd like to, get up a little bit higher as I've
Yeah.
gained a different level of status.
You want to go to you want to go to the Delta One Lounge of Chez Pannise? You want to
I
go?
want to be your +1 at Chez Pannise.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And she's fun. Like we'll drink a bottle of rosé or two with her and just hang out. You know, it really is like a family restaurant. And I got you. Whatever you need, guys.
Wow,
I'm fans.
I appreciate that, because that's a one restaurant I like to go to as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Not the fancy part. I'm good on that.
You need the upstairs. Yeah, you want to go?
I like upstairs.
Yeah.
I don't need to go. I don't need to go downstairs.
No, the upstairs. Downstairs is nice, but the upstairs is like it's like fun. You know, they got they all. You know, by the way, for people who haven't been there, every
I've never
night
even
they
been
have
downstairs.
They have a completely new menu, based on whatever good stuff they're getting from the market. And the upstairs is just like beautiful light. It's casual. They have great pizzas and stuff, and it's like it's really nice. It's a good time. And the downstairs is beautiful too, because it's like you can get a real reverential treatment of like a turnip, or like a bowl of oranges.
Hell yeah!
And as you'll see in the thing, and Alice is all about like finding the beauty in what others might find mundane and trying to find the most beautiful turnip, like the most beautiful.
I want to try Alice's turnip now. I didn't know I needed that, but it sounds sounds like the reverence is being paid, and I need to appreciate it.
She makes a salad. She's actually responsible for mixed greens, apparently.
Oh shit!
Like people weren't mixing greens. Like in the U.S., it was only
Boston. Mixed
Boston.
greens? That's me.
Dude, it was only Boston lettuce. It's like Boston lettuce is Wolfgang Puck is Chinese chicken salad in a bag.
Yeah, of course.
Alice is like, what about arugula and lettuce?
Bro,
what about endive?
that blows my mind, because I hope
real.
Sweet Green and Chopped and all these
Radicchio
motherfuckers, they
and
need to
that
be
bitch.
paying her a percentage.
Oh,
They
man.
have mixed greens on every menu in America.
I mean, and that's why she's on the Legends, is because she starts the
It
movement.
used to just be frisée.
Yeah, the frise,
Now a little frisée in there.
because a lot of these lettuces were not available in the U.S. So she goes to France, and people will see this in the episode, which, by the way, drops on April 28th. The new season, Legends. People, she goes to France. She sees how they do the produce. In America, the food system is kind of fucked. I mean, we don't really have like a great food culture here. Like we have barbecue maybe, but like it was like the food systems when she was a kid were horrible. There was no way to get fresh baked bread. All vegetables were in cans and stuff and mushy. And that's why like people were like, oh, vegetables are gross. It's because the veggies in the US have been bad. And then she went to France and she brought back all this stuff. She works with like the local farmers. She's the farm to table lady. Like she's the one who is putting the farm on the menu. And it's really cool. So yes, anytime you see a bag of mixed greens, you see an heirloom tomato, in the US, that's Alice.
Damn.
Put some respect on her name.
Put some respect on her name. That's great. All right, so it's out. You're saying it's out April 28th.
Yes.
All right, and how many are there?
There are 4. So we got four legends. You've heard their names. It's Alice Waters, it's Thomas Keller, it's Jamie Oliver, it's Jose Andres. They're not strangers to the public, but we go deeper and we show a side of them that people haven't seen just by the product of us being there. I mean, we do an interview like in a day, we'll do like maybe 2 or 3 interviews. Each one is like 3 to 4 hours. And so we're getting past like the normal stuff that they say. And then it becomes like psychological. I mean, we really want to go deep and find the origin story and the why, like you mentioned before. It's like, what is that motivation, or what lit the spark in you? We also refer to it like a superhero kind of archetype, because they have a talent. They don't know how to use it at first, and then they find their way. Just like Peter Parker gets bit by the spider, then he's like trying to make money off of it. And then Uncle Ben dies and he's like, wow, I have to, I'm growing up now. I'm becoming an adult. And it's the reason that's a popular story is because it's just true. Like that's how people grow up, it's like something happens and it changes.
That's life.
Changes your vibe. So yep, that's what the Legends got.
And sometimes you have to realize that your calling in life is to smell things in slow motion on Netflix.
Yeah, that's what I discovered that. And then I was like, when is my turning point? And then it never happened. And so we're still doing it 10 years later.
Holding the line.
Yeah.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
Man, I love that I have to say, I love that slow motion. And I guess in this new project I have a camera that like can make things like so slow, like, and I can take it anywhere, and it's small, and it's just like a blast because
Okay.
you used to see like the mundane just becomes like so beautiful, like a drop of water.
All right, now
A
we're getting
wave.
into Planet Earth
Yeah.
territory, so be careful.
No, I'm trying to win. Dog, I'm trying to win an Emmy here. I'm trying to win an Emmy here. I'm trying to compete with the Planet Earth.
All right, stop filming garlic bread, start filming bugs and shit, and we're gonna get those EGOTs pumping, baby.
Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah, we're gonna do the full circle of life, the biome that then comes to your table. But how do I do that without making you sad that you're gonna be eating Babe? And that's like
That is tough.
That's the hard
This is
part.
this is the
hard
challenge of the director, and I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
I really do.
This is what we deal. This is what we deal with. But that's actually the worst that it ever is. So I'm
good.
doing
Yeah.
pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
Well, David, thanks for
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
the time to chat with us. Chef's Table on Netflix, Legends, they're all good. We watched them all.
Thank you, man.
Waters is the coolest one out of the bunch, but we already knew that before. And then thank you for enjoying the podcast. And now we're friends. And now we could figure out the untitled How Long Gone food project.
I got you, man. I
It
got
can
you.
live on Netflix if you want.
No, I actually we're gonna do that.
Okay, great.
It's on. It's on. Thank
Okay,
you guys
deal.
so much. It's
right, deal.
it's an honor to be here. And I just want to shout out to my boy Sam Lerner, who his movie
Sam did make the
his
shout out to Sam.
His movie Drop is Sam Lerner, talented actor, producer. His movie Drop, produced by Michael Bay, is currently in theaters, based on a true story about when Sam and his girlfriend were in Italy. Somebody was texting her like dirty Shrek pictures. No, airdropping dirty Shrek pictures. And they were like, who the fuck is doing this? Why are they sending like naked Shrek? And that became the thriller of the year. And so, Sam, I love you. Thank
And
you.
the iPhone case
Thank
of
you
the
for
year
that.
as
That's
well.
really
And you
that's
guys,
really good.
and you guys are the only pod I listen to. Like, I really don't listen to podcasts. I'm a book on tape kind of guy, and I just feel like I feel at home with you guys. So thank you.
We'll love to hear
You know,
that.
thanks for doing
Love
what you
to hear
do.
that. No, thank you.
Thanks, David.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, later, guys.